guys, it's Amy at Zoe Beck, and I'm going to do a kind of chatty video. I don't do these that often, but I do talking about whatever kind of thing that I came up with. So I just kind of wanted to kind of talk about kind of the, not really the pressures of BookTube, but I think of the pressures I put on myself because of BookTube and the reading community that I've now joined, which is really awesome, except there are a few side effects, I think. And I think you go through phases of how you feel about it. Sometimes I'm able to just blow it off and go, I'm fine, I do what I want, blah, 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 it doesn't matter. And then other times I'm feeling like I have to read certain books, or I have to like certain books. Not really. I'm pretty good about what I like and what I don't like. I don't really go by what everybody else does. Clearly, since in the last couple months I've read some very, very popular books, and I was not sold on them. And some of them I DNF'd, and even though they are, everybody, like a lot of people love them, and I just did not. So, and I read a book this week that's kind of the same thing, where I know a lot of people love this book. It's like their favorite book, but for me, it wasn't quite all there. There was a lot of points that bothered me, which is to my personality and what I think. So that got me thinking about kind of the pressures of what I was starting to do to myself this last month. And I think with all my overtime, it kind of exacerbated the situation, because I wasn't able to read as much and I was so tired. So I kind of wanted to just take a little time and just talk about the fact that I don't think all of us on here are very good about just saying, I'm going to read what I want to read. I don't need to follow the masses, and I don't have to like everything that everybody else does. Now, some people, I mean, they read a lot more than I do, and kudos to you guys, but I only have so much time. I spend a lot of time reading, don't get me wrong. I think I still read a lot higher than the average, of course, but I also know that I have other things I want to start doing in the next month or two. I'm really getting back into my writing. It's very slow going at this point, but Camp NaNoWriMo is happening next month, so I will be dedicating at least a half hour to an hour every day to writing for myself, which again takes away from my reading. So I want to be a little bit more selective on what I'm actually reading. And I also just feel that I need to stop trying to spread myself so thin. Now, I am one of those people who usually reads just one book at a time, and then I will, I just go one to another. Now, I do usually have a nonfiction book that's kind of on the side. Once in a while, I'll have an audiobook. I'm not a constant audiobook listener. Like right now, I'm trying to listen to an audiobook in my car, and I just can't do it. Every time I get in the car, I'm like, no, I'll just listen to the radio, or I'll listen to my iPod or something. You know, like I make the choice not to listen to that audiobook. And I have a lot of audiobooks on my phone as well that I could totally listen to, but I'm not into the mood right now to listen to anything in my car. And that kind of comes and goes. But I guess what I'm trying to get around here too is that I found 2 weeks ago, I found myself overwhelmed in my own plans for reading. So again, I got all these books from the library. All of them were coming in that I had put holds on. Some of them I had holds on for months, and others I just had taken out that week because I saw somebody's BookTube video about it, and so I thought I'd get it. So I had like 12 or 13 books from the library out. And then you guys have to understand, I have a TBR in-house of at least 400. I would say I was way over that now, but I have not counted recently, and I'm not going to. But I have, I've dedicated 2 bookshelves in my living room, or, you know, so there's probably one full bookshelf that would be in here, but like, so it's, but out there, but, and I will at one point show you guys that TBR shelf. I just haven't got around to filming that. But I've put out all these books these are the ones I want to read next. It's about 100, just about 100, a little over 100 books of the ones I am like primed to read. These are the ones, either the next in the series of a series, you know, I told that, sorry. The next book that I want to read in that series, or if it's a series I want to start, or if it's, or a standalone, or authors I haven't tried yet that I own stuff by, you know, it's just, it has all this, I have all these great books that I own. And again, I don't stop buying. I have bought more books this month than I really planned on, but I kind of did a splurge because of all my overtime money. So half those books though are books I've read, or not quite half, little under half, but the good stack of them are books that I've already read. So those don't go on my TBR, which is awesome, even though I'll probably reread them now that I have new copies. But I guess 2 weeks ago, again, I had all these library books, and I kind of had a panic attack. Not like okay, I shouldn't say that. Okay, I apologize to anybody that comes off of it, but I started getting overwhelmed and not knowing what to pick up next. And everything I picked up, I didn't want to read it. I even though I had it and I wanted to read it when I ordered it from the library, I got to the point where I didn't want to pick up any of those books. And so I took them all back. Last weekend, I just made the decision. I think I had 12 or so books that physically, 3 of them I'd read, and the rest I took back. I didn't have time for them, because one of them was a reread one too as well, but a lot of them were ones I wanted to try, but I just didn't get to. And I would pick them up and I tried them that week, because I said, okay, I need to try these to see if I'm going to read them. I just didn't want to read them, so I didn't. So I got rid of all my library books. Now, right now I have 3 library books. One's for my in real life book club. That's for April. So I'm going to try that. And then I have 2 other books that I picked up on a whim. So I'm not too, I could get rid of them pretty quickly without even thinking about it. But, well, I'm going to give them a shot. But the thing is that that's more manageable, 3 books from the library instead of 12. I also am participating in BookTube SFF Awards, like as in I want to read all this stuff so I can vote for all the nominees in June. And I found that I was overdoing it in trying to get those done as well. So some of those library books were for BookTube SFF, and I found I don't want to read those, or I don't want to read them right now, or I'm not sure I'm ever going to read those. Like, I've kind of come to that decision where I was trying to read books because they were nominated, but they're not books that I wanted to personally read. They weren't on my list. So the couple of those that I had been kind of on the fence about trying, and I know other people have really liked them, I'm just not interested in them, and so I'm going to just bypass those. And I'm going to look back at that BookTube SFF, the shortlist, and decide which ones are the ones I actually want to read, and then go forward with that, because I need to focus more on what I want to read, what I feel like reading, what I want to invest my time in, and not just because it's nominated or just because somebody said it was a great book. Now, if I'm attracted to it and I want to read it, then I will read it. But I have to stop just going, oh, well, that sounds kind of interesting, let me give that a shot. When right now I have so many books right now, I have enough things to give a shot that I've never read, and authors I've never tried that I personally own. So I guess what I'm kind of saying this roundabout way is that I've kind of backed off on all the books that I feel like I either should read or other people are reading right now for like BookTube SFF, or I don't know. I feel like I was starting to ignore the books that I owned, even though I've been trying to be better about picking up my books. And but I was, again, starting to get the library books. And I love the library, and I love the resource of it. And I think everybody should use the library. I mean, I'm still using it. It's not like I'm stopping. I just need to cut back again. And I talked about that earlier this year. I think I have to do it again. I have to cut back and get it under a manageable 1 or 2 books, at a time, and then not order something until I'm really ready for it. Like, there is a book that I really want to read that I was on the hold list. I was actually down to like number 5, and then suddenly it disappeared off my list. I didn't cancel it that I remember. Like, I don't remember ever going in and saying cancel selected items on my... Anyway, so I lost out. So now I'm number 47. So when that book comes in, that one I definitely want to read. It is on my to-read list. Like, that's one I want to read, and I don't want to pay for it because it's a hardback. So, like, that one I know I'm going to read when I get it. It's not going to be one that I'm like, well, maybe I'll want to read it. No. This is, like, the next book in that series. I want that book. So, I need to keep those ones coming from the library that I know I'm going to read. And the other ones that I'm kind of like, maybe I put on a list and I'll look at them later maybe find them used, maybe find them at a library bookstore or book sale, or go to the library later. Give it time, not when they're so new, and then maybe I won't have to worry about the holds and I have to read it within the 3-week period that we can have them. I was starting to feel really upset with myself that I couldn't read at all. And I'm not a fast reader. I dedicate time to my reading. I like to read, so it's for me, it's fun and pleasurable. I mean, I want to still learn things, and I still want to have thoughts and feelings about them. Like I don't just do it for fun. It really is for relaxation as well as educational, but there's the fun element too. So I want to get back to where I'm reading stuff that I want to read. Now, that's kind of where I'm going with this, is that I just think I'm going to calm down, and I need to stop getting books that I think I should read. Like, there are some books that I bought this year and last year that, yes, you get influenced by seeing everybody talk about it, but I have to step back and decide, is that really something I'm going to read like soon? Because I have that tendency to buy something that sounds really cool and then it sits on my shelf for a couple of years. So right now, that's my goal, is to read off of my TBR, off my physical shelves. I have some ebooks that I want to get to too. I don't buy as many ebooks anymore because I find I don't read them as often. To me, that's more of a travel time when I have that, and I'm not traveling as much anymore. Only when I can't afford it. But I don't know. How do you guys feel about that? Like, as I said, I love the library and I want to keep getting books from the library, but I need to trim it down. Like, I can't go in there and just look for books, because that's a bad idea. And I can't, like, take everybody's suggestion from BookTube videos and go and immediately ask for them from the library, because I just don't have time. I have these, as a planner scheduler, I'm going to read certain books in the next couple months. Like, the TBRs, like, are pretty loose for me a lot of times. I kind of know I'm going to read. I read about half what's on my TBR half the time, because that's just how it is. Either I don't get to other stuff because I don't want to read it right now, or because I've run out of time because I picked too big of books, or there's not enough, I didn't read enough. But there are books, like, I know in April there's a couple of fantasy books that I am going to get to. Like, that is it. Because March was more the mystery stuff. So I was hitting all this mystery stuff that books that I hadn't gotten to, or I wanted to try, or whatever. So that's been fun. And I still want to do readathons and read-alongs on certain books. As I said, I'm just starting a couple of them, hopefully in the next month, that are for fun, But I also look at it going, well, I don't have to read it when everybody else is reading. Like, if somebody's doing something on a book that I want to read, maybe it's not the time for it. Like, I found with the War and Peace last year, that they did, I think in June and July, I was just not ready for it. I read a lot in June, and then I went on vacation in July, so I should have had a lot of time to read, but I just wasn't ready to commit to that big of a book, or, the time to do that. I read a lot of other things though, so that was kind of cool. So I don't know, I'm getting kind of rambly here, so I guess I'll just wrap this up real quick here. The point is that I'm going to be reading a lot of stuff that I want to read, and not everybody else is reading. And I'll still pick books that I obviously got from BookTube. It's not like that's going to stop, because I've bought all these books. But I am going to focus more on what I feel like reading. Like, today I'm picking up a book that I read maybe 20 years ago. And I've read it several times over the years, because it's one of my favorite authors. But it's like one of those things where, because I finished this book that I was thinking about, this book popped up in my head, and now I want to read that. And there's another book right after it I want to read that's another author that I haven't read in years, but her book relates kind of to that, and I might go to that if I'm still feeling in that mood. But those are books that nobody's talking about. Those authors I've never heard anybody talk about on here. So I think right now I just want to kind of go out there that I'm going to be reading, and I always read what I want to read, but I think it's more going to be off the path of what everybody else is reading. But we'll see. As I said, I'm trying to get more nonfiction into my reading as well, and I just feel like I need to just let my mood kind of lead me right now, especially since I'm going to be writing a lot next month. And when I'm writing, I don't read as much. So we'll see how that all goes. So anyway, I've talked way too long. Anyway, let me know your thoughts on what you think about being on BookTube and how that affects your reading like that. And again, I don't know, maybe I just overthought this, but I don't know. So anyway, I'd like to hear what you guys are thinking. Thanks. Bye.